coin toss. They've elected to defer to half number 2, so they'll be kicking things off to Exave Bascon to get this game started here on homecoming day. Busy day on campus. There was rugby this morning, men's and women's soccer this afternoon, women's hockey taking place as well, in addition to the 127th meeting all time between the Crimson and the Big Green. Big Green looking to stop a 2-game skid to the Crimson. They've won 3 in a row before dropping each of the last 2, including the last time up here back in 2022, 28-13. Matisse Weaver with the ball teed up. High kick that's going to come down short. Live ball picked up by Baskin. He's going to run wide, and he's got some room to operate. Baskin breaking across the 25-30, bound into the outside. Weaver trying to track him down, calling for blockers down the sideline. Finally pushed out of bounds, but Exave Baskin starts the game with an exclamation point. Brings it all the way down on the return to the Dartmouth 42-yard line.
Yeah, great start right there for the Crimson on the kick return, and we get to see their offense, top scoring team in the Ivy League. They're averaging up near 35 points per game.
Jaden Craig leads the offense onto the field here, and I take that, and Craig has been nothing short of outstanding all season long. Highlighted him, what he's been able to do, and lines up with Baskin to his right, shotgun in the backfield. Barkate split all the way the numbers on that far side left. He's looking in that direction. First pass of the afternoon complete to Cooper Barkate. Patrick Campbell wraps him around the shoulders and forces him out of bounds, but gains all the way down to the Dartmouth 35, a pickup of 7 on first down.
A week ago for Barkate, 2 touchdowns, the game over Princeton. Going back to mid-October, first among FCS players in touchdowns, 5th in yards per game.
Throwing the ball at a 77.6% completion percentage clip over his last 3 games. Bascon, first carry of the game, bursts through the line. First down and more. Rumbles his way down to the 26. So he'll pick up 9 yards. This Harvard offense has been outstanding, to say the least. First in the Ivy in terms of scoring points, 34.8 per game. That's 16th overall in the FCS. Total offense, they're 4th in the Ivy League. It's just how efficient they've been able to be, how many big plays they've been able to pile up. First down and 10, coming from the Big Green 26-yard line. Craig calling for the snap. Bascon will take the handoff, dances through a hole in the line. Another good gain on first down to the Big Green 20. Picks up 6 yards on the first down tote. Bascon 71 yards last week on 15 attempts and a 45-13 win over the Tigers of Princeton. 492 yards of total offense in that game, tying their season high. Second down and 4 from the Dartmouth 20. Their first foray into the red zone for the Crimson this afternoon. A little trickeration they put in the hands of Scott Woods. The second Woods able to gain the corner on Cronin and runs out of bounds with another Crimson first down. Lots of wrinkles they can put into this playbook as we get a look at the first down carry here.
Yeah, a little bit of some nice pressure off of the line of scrimmage that time, forcing the first third down of this drive. Chance for Dartmouth to get a stop, hold Harvard to a field goal.
3rd and 5 coming from the Big Green 8. It's going to be DePrima. He's going to look for the corner. DePrima's running. DePrima's rumbling. DePrima in. Touchdown, Harvard. They take the short field given to them by Bascon on the kickoff return, and DePrima rumbles in from 8 yards out. First touchdown of the afternoon. The Crimson strike first.
Well executed there, design run on third down. Everybody held their block, plenty of room on the right side.
3rd rushing touchdown of the season for DePrima. Was the starter at quarterback a season ago, was pulled from the starting duties after the game against Dartmouth down in Cambridge, but has become a Swiss Army knife for this team. You see the versatility right there as the point after attempt for Kieran Core is through and good. And that will put the first 7 points on the board here for the Crimson. They get the short field, and they're able to take advantage.
I mean, top scoring team in the Ivy, spot them that short of a field. Kind of expect that Harvard would put up some points there, but Dartmouth, that third down opportunity, you got a chance to hold them to a field goal attempt, but a well-executed first drive by the Crimson, and Prima finds the end zone on that third down scamper.
So a chance for the offense to try and come back out here. And for the Big Green. First for the offense to have a chance to take the field here. See if they can equal what the Crimson were able to do on drive number 1. Nick Lemon lined up deep to receive the kick here for the Big Green. As Core will tee the ball up at his own 40, the first year out of Winchester, Massachusetts. But an impressive start here for the Crimson. A lot at stake in this game this afternoon. The Big Green, one of just 2 teams undefeated in the FCS. Dartmouth and Montana State, the only unbeaten team left in the Ivy. This one's going to clear all the way out of the back of the end zone. The Big Green offense will come out to the 25-yard line. Jackson Proctor back in the starting lineup today. It had been Grayson Saulnier's game. It's going against Yale. Saulnier actually entered that game as the backup. Woods Ray got the start against the Bulldogs in that contest. Saulnier entered after Ray was not able to get the offense moving. So the good news for the Big Green is Proctor's back taking the snaps from center. Maybe not so good news for the Big Green. Looking out at the field right now, no Paxton Scott. Scott was on crutches at the end of the game against Columbia. He's not out with the group on the field at the moment. Proctor lined up shotgun. Q Jones to his right. Jones coming off a career day, looking for a hole around the left side, able to dance his way up to the 29-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup there for Q Jones. 182 yards on 19 carries and a touchdown last week for Jones. Career day for him, the 182 yards, the most rushing yards by a Dartmouth player since Jared Gerbino ran for 183 against Harvard back in 2018. Second down and 6 from the 29. Play action. Proctor standing in, looking. Proctor has a man that's going to be caught up across the 35 to the 37-yard line. Grayson O'Bara, his first catch of the afternoon. That'll move the chains.
I like that play action look right there. Harvard, they're expecting a heavy dose of run today. Keep them off guard by faking the handoff. Plenty of space over the middle of the field, and first down for the Big Green, trying to answer back on their first drive.
5th reception of the season for O'Bara. First catch for him since taking on the Quakers of Penn here back on October 5th. First down and 10 for the Big Green coming from their own 37. Handoff again, Jones looking for a hole. Contacted behind the line, able to pick up 1, maybe 2. And then he's going to be driven back. A lot of talent left off of this Harvard line from a season ago. Thor Griffith transferred as a grad student, now playing at Louisville. Think about Truman Jones as well with the practice squad with the Kansas City Chiefs the last couple of years. It's been a very talented line, but Jacob Syke, as we highlighted off the top, really has stepped into that role. Big number 94 at the bottom of your screen. Certainly one to keep an eye on. Second down and 9, officially a gain of 1. Corbo's the motion man. Proctor looking that way. Now will fire. Has Jackson Namian across the 45 up to the 46. He'll be shy of the first down by a couple. Quick tackle on the play. Ty Bartram. An absolute menace on the back end for this Crimson squad.
Yeah, Harvard brought the corner, Damian Henderson, trying to come in, maybe get into the backfield, but nice job of blocking. Able to keep Henderson away and buy enough time to complete the pass. 3rd and short.
3rd down and 2. They'll put the ball in the hands of Jones, who's wrapped around the ankles and brought down shy. It's Henderson, that man coming in off the corner, able to make the tackle. And that's going to send the punt unit onto the field. Henderson, Coach Andrew Orrick said, maybe one of the smartest players that I've ever coached. Talked about just knowing where to be on the field, and not just his assignment, but everybody else's assignment. Comes in, makes a big tackle there to bring Jones down shy of the first down. Big Green will get ready to punt this one away. Davis Golick punted 5 times last week for just over 39 yards per average. Big win last week down in Columbia. Send this one away to Scott Woods. Angling towards the sideline. Woods going to try to return it from his own 11. Dances, makes one man miss and then a second. Still on his feet across the 20. And finally wrapped up and pulled down at the 24. So decent starting field position here for the Crimson. They had a short field on drive number 1. We'll see with the Charles DePrima 8-yard touchdown run. They only had to go 42 yards. This time they'll have to go 76 if they're trying to find pay dirt. First down and 10 from their own 24. Jaden Craig, 2 of 3 on that opening drive for 12 yards. Big Green showing some pressure across the front. They're going to rush 5. Craig, quick sling to the outside. That's going to be caught. Seamus Gilmartin, his first catch of the afternoon. It's going to be close to a first down, but looks like they're marking it just shy for the moment. Nope, they're going to move the sticks. Now we're getting the signal. So first down catch for Seamus Gilmartin, his 11th catch of the year, coming off a career day last week against the Tigers of Princeton. 4 catches, 108 yards. Cooper Barcade at the wideout spot. 7 receptions for 106 yards. Snap comes. Woods is going to get the tote. Around the side, bursting for the sideline, and finally forced out of bounds. Good downfield blocking. But that's going to be close to another first down. 9 yards on the carry that side. A couple of interesting wrinkles we've seen here already. Woods listed as a wideout, but that's twice we've seen him take the ball and work the ball on sweeps. Looks like no Shane McLaughlin again for this Crimson team. He had a phenomenal game last year down in Cambridge. 156 yards on the ground against Dartmouth in just 24 attempts. Second down and 1 from the 43. Quick handoff comes here. Malik Frederick gets just enough for the first down. They needed 1. He picks up 2. And this is the danger, right? If you're the Big Green coming into today. You get off to a slow start offensively. In this Harvard offense, you can blink and suddenly there can be points on the board.
Yeah, first drive of the game, Harvard moved the ball with ease. Got some good field position to start.
Snap comes. Craig rolling. Has some time. Pressure on the backside. Says with one up diving attempt by Patrick Campbell as the pass falls down incomplete. Pressure coming in on the backside that time of Craig. Josiah Green was able to get home. Looking for Woods again. Campbell nearly came up with a highlight reel INT.
Green laid a big hit on the QB at the end of that one. Might have altered the throw just a little bit. Big Green didn't get too much pressure in the backfield on that first drive, so good to see Green get back there if you're a Dartmouth fan.
Frederick stays in the backfield. Second down and 10. Dartmouth rushing 4. Quick throw to the outside. Complete to Frederick Campbell. Closes out with a tackle and in a hurry. That picks up 3 yards. We'll set up a third down and 7. Crimson hustling up here, and Dartmouth is going to have to burn a timeout. Big Green were trying to substitute, get a different package on the field. Danny Cronin was making for the sideline, but he wasn't going to make it in time. So the Big Green trying to get organized defensively. You see Harvard again trying to move quickly here. Speaking of moving quickly, we're moving quickly through quarter number 1. Time for us to take in for the Crimson off of the timeout from their own 48-yard line. This is drive number 2. Backfield all emptied out here for Jaden Craig. Woods, the man in motion. Quick throw out to him. Going to try and make the play with his feet. Still dancing with it. Finally brought down. Good pursuit that time by the Big Greens. Cameron Lee. Officially a gain of 1 on the play. Tried to set up the screen. There was nothing there, so Woods looked to cut it back, and Lee was able to close out with a good tackle.
Yeah, like you said, not much space over there on the right side of things. We're looking for a little bit more space out in the flat to run, but Dartmouth's defense contained well.
Sebastian Tasco ready to punt this one away. Had a quiet week last week. Only had to punt once. End under end kick. Sean Williams coming up, and he'll watch this one bound over his head. Hit down around the 11. It'll be down around the 13, and the Big Green offense will come out for series number 2. They picked up 1 first down on drive number 1. We'll see what they can get going here on drive number 2. As we highlighted, in case you're just joining us, Jackson Proctor back in the starting lineup here today. Have been out of the lineup since the game against Yale. That was game number 4 this season. But no Paxton Scott this afternoon. Scott, not just one of the best receivers for Dartmouth this season, but one of the best ones in perhaps program history. 4th all-time in receptions coming into today, 7th all-time in career receiving yards, and he's on the sideline. Not available this afternoon. Corbo comes in motion. Proctor lined up shotgun. Hands it off. Q Jones looking for a hole, dancing, still on his feet. Somehow finds some space and works his way up to the 20. Good 6-yard gain there on first down for Q Jones.
Dartmouth on their first drive ran the ball 3 times, only got 6 yards total on the ground. Big Green are the best rushing team in the Ivy League, but Harvard has the best run defense.
Crimson coming into today in terms of that rushing defense, allowing just 108.3 yards per game. That's 10th overall in the FCS. Of course, the Lions of Columbia last week were 9th overall in the FCS. First handoff to Desmond Jackson this afternoon. Goes around the right side for a couple. All the Big Green did last week was rush for 271 yards against the Lions of Columbia. 182 of those belong to Q Jones. New career high for Jones. Previous career high was 158 against Sacred Heart back in the 2022 season. Jackson stays in the game here as the play clock continues to wind its way down, trickling inside at 20 seconds. As Dartmouth again faced with a third down and short. 3rd and 2 coming from their own 22. Snap comes. Crimson rushing 4. Looking across the middle. A pass is going to be batted down and incomplete. Active hands along the line. Line of scrimmage was an area that both coaches said was going to be critical here today. Looking for that quick slant to O'Bara across the middle, but it never materialized. So second punt in as many series for the Big Green. The game last year down in Cambridge was marked by a slow start by the Dartmouth offense. It'll be Golick punting away here to Woods, who stands back at his own 40. Line drive kick driving Woods back to his own 36, makes a man miss, and he's got some space coming up the sideline, runs it out of bounds. Crimson are going to have another short field to work with, looking to add on to their 7-0. Craig standing in, looking to go for it all. Middle of the field, has a man wide open. That's Barkate, loses his footing, but picks up more than enough for the first down, all the way down to the Big Green 29-yard line. Gain of 25 on the play. Second catch of the game for Barkate.
Can't leave Barkate open. Wide open middle of the field right there, and he had a massive game last week. Pair of touchdowns, over 100 yards against Princeton.
He's got touchdowns in 3 straight in 5 of the 6 games they played this season. He's middle of the field right now. Adeli can't get to Craig. Sideline pass is going to be incomplete. Looking for Woods. Good elusiveness by Craig in the backfield to run away from Ejike Adeli, something Columbia was not able to do last week. Career high 9 tackles, 3.5 for loss, and 2 sacks for Adeli.
And that's what you'd like to see more of from the Big Green. The couple of times that they've gotten into the backfield, applied some pressure on Craig. It's forced a rush throw and an off-target throw.
Bascom will check back in. Barkate's wide to the numbers on the far side at the top of your screen. Craig waiting for the shotgun snap on 2nd down and 10 from the Big Green 29. Shows it to the outside now. Barkate, quick turn. Campbell gets a hand to him. Barkate still on his feet inside the 20, fighting down to the 15. Might not be the biggest, might not be the fastest, but is the most effective. Cooper Barkate having himself a day already. 3rd catch here in quarter number 1.
Got an extra 5, maybe even a little bit more than that after shedding the tackle. Just a couple of yards of space. Like to see the defenders up contesting those passes a little bit more. Just the quick out. Barkade with room to make the catch.
Throw to the flat looking for Bascon. Overshoots it. Does Craig. First trip inside the red zone resulted in the 8-yard touchdown run by Charles DePrima. Crimson 492 yards of total offense a week ago. That tied a season high. Cooper Barkate, Seamus Gilmartin, both 100-plus receiving yards in that game. First time for the Crimson with 2 players with more than 100 yards receiving since going against Columbia back in 2018. 2nd and 10 from the 15. Woods is going to be the motion man. Bascon with the carry. Had a hole around the right side for the moment, but got swallowed up quickly. Micah Green in on the tackle that time, along with Darrell Porter. We'll set up a 3rd down. Porter able to work his way into the hole. Big Green running a couple of subs on here late. Cronin and Porter will come off. Zion Freer-Brown and Cameron Lee will come on. 3rd down and 7 coming from the Dartmouth 12. Scott Giuliano, the man moving in motion. Dartmouth rushes forward. Craig standing in. Pocket collapsing. Mullen chasing. Thrown in the flat. Bascon's got the catch. But it's going to go down to the 14-yard line. Ends up being a loss of 2. Dartmouth. It was a slow start last year down in Harvard. A wet game, a sloppy game. Crimson had a couple of interceptions early. Big Green had a fumble early on. But the Dartmouth offense, on their first 5 drives, did not net more than 25 yards on any of them. And now we're going to have Austin Jake Guillory come in, put a finger on the ball so it stops blowing off. Which is odd because the wind is not that strong at the moment. Flags on top of the goalpost dancing a little bit. Otherwise, a gorgeous fall afternoon. Game time temp about 46 degrees. Some hints of blue sky breaking through. Tasco, high end over end kick. That one's just going to sail into the end zone and out the back. Big Green will start again from their own 25-yard line.
So far, 2 drives for Dartmouth. Just 1 first down. They've run the ball 5 times, getting just under 3 yards per carry. Only 2 passes going for 16. So not much doing offensively, like you said. And now down by 10. Got to see the offense come alive, trying to get the Big Green on the scoreboard. So we're getting late in the opening quarter.
Ball nestled right between the hash marks at the 25-yard line. They'll empty the backfield out here for Jackson Proctor. Sean Ward moving in motion. Snap comes. Crimson rush 4. Quick throw to Jackson on the outside. That'll pick up 4 yards on the first down. Pitch and catch. Bartram in on the tackle. 11th catch of the season for Desmond Jackson. .99 yards of total offense in quarter number 1 for the Crimson of Harvard. Twice have been able to work with short fields, scoring on both those drives. Handoff will come to Jackson. Has a big hole coming around the left side. Bartram closes it quickly. Mitchell Gonser over there as well, one of their key linebackers on this team. Looked like there was space coming around the edge. There was some. But a gain of just 3 will set up a 3rd down and 2. Dartmouth has been in 3rd and short twice so far this afternoon. Has not been able to convert as of yet. 0 for 2 on these 3rd down and shorts. Empty it out again for Proctor. Glance to the sideline. Play call coming in. Proctor calling out the protections. The play clock dwindles. Proctor standing in. Pass complete. Jackson on the outside. That should be enough for a first. Across the 35 to the 36. And the sticks will move. So the Big Green finally able to convert on the 3rd down. That'll keep the drive alive here as quarter number 1 is winding to a close. Time maybe for one more play for the Big Green. Just 12 seconds left. Have to wonder if they're just going to let the clock wind down here at the end of quarter number 1. And that appears exactly what they are going to do. Special teams helping make the difference so far. Kickoff return and a punt return, setting the Crimson up inside Dartmouth territory. They're able to capitalize twice. 15 minutes in the books here from Hanover. Getting ready for the start of quarter number 2 here between Dartmouth and Harvard. Crimson with a 10-0 lead at the end of 1 quarter of play. Big Green picking up a first round right before we went to the timeout in between the first and the second. Lots of motion here this time for Dartmouth. 2 tight end set. Jackson to the right of Jackson Proctor in the backfield. Proctor rolling, looking, waiting for something to develop. Has all kinds of time. Now he's just going to tuck it and run. Proctor slides down across the 40. Up to about the 41. Great protection that time, but good coverage downfield as well. No options for Proctor to try and sling it deep.
Well, that's a great decision by Proctor. Takes some time in the backfield, scans the options downfield. Didn't see anything that he liked, but had plenty of room to take off and run. Gets a nice chunk of yards there on the ground. And second and manageable, about 4 yards from the sticks.
Snap is high, able to handle it, puts it in the hands of Desmond Jackson, who rumbles his way across the 45 to the 46-yard line. That's more than enough for a first down. Needed 4, and he was able to pick up 5. Jackson, the junior out of California, had a career day against the Quakers of Penn. Ran for 98 yards in that game. Was held to just 4 yards on 5 attempts last week down in New York City. Big Green trying to move with some pace. That's DJ Cruther in the game. Jackson Namian makes a catch but cannot make a man miss. Great tackle in the open field made by Damian Henderson.
That first TFL of the game comes on that play action fake, but back to the play before it, one of the better runs that we've seen today from the Big Green. First quarter on the ground, not much doing, under 3 yards per carry. So an encouraging sign for Dartmouth to see about 6 yards on that run to get the first.
Dartmouth averaged almost 7 yards per attempt last week against Columbia. Proctor on a rollout, has a man wide open. Painter Richards-Baker hauls it inside the 40, down the sideline, pushed out of bounds, just shy of the 25. Big Green needed a big play, and they get one here. Proctor to Painter Richards-Baker, pushes the ball deep into Harvard territory.
Richards-Baker out in space, does a nice job of getting the hands up, hauls in that throw, which was a little bit high. And Richards-Baker able to make the grab, take off and run, a couple of extra yards at the end of that one, and Dartmouth on the Harvard side of the field for the first time.
Now it's Dartmouth's turn for trickeration. End around this time for Nick Lemon, able to pick up a couple. There's Bartram, I should say, on the back end, able to make the hit. As Chris Corvo gets tied up with Gonsner. A block downfield. Neither one of those guys wants to give an inch either way. Big Green able to pick up a couple. On the end around that time to Lemon. Receiving core depth is going to be tested this afternoon. No Paxton Scott for the Big Green. Three yards officially on the first down carry that time for Lemon. Cruther in the backfield to the left of Proctor. DJ Cruther getting back in the lineup last week. 52 yards on the ground. Quick throw to the outside is going to be incomplete. There's that man Henderson again. He's able to knock it out of the paws of Daniel Houghton. Henderson, just a sophomore out of Tampa, Florida, but got one of the best compliments you can get from a coach, Andrew Orrick, saying one of the smartest players that I've ever coached. Made a couple of big plays already in this game. 3rd down and 7 for Dartmouth, coming from the Crimson 23. Jackson motions into the backfield. Harvard rushing only 3. Proctor standing in, dumps it across the middle. Grayson O'Bara dancing to the outside, makes one man miss, but not a second. Brought down to the turf that time by Eric Little. Good read by the linebacker. O'Bara down to the 19, and now it becomes decision time for Sammy McCorkle's squad. Imagine you're going to try and take the points here with your all-Ivy kicker, and that's what they're going to do. Owen Zalk coming on, 10 for 13 on field goals this year, has hit from 50 yards. This one's going to be a 37-yard attempt with Woods Ray on to hold. Big Green looking for their first points of the afternoon. Snap comes, hold is down, kick is up, it is on the way, and the kick is through and good. That gets a hand from the Big Green faithful. 3 points on the board for Dartmouth. In Providence, 31-14, the Quakers are up, and Cornell is running through Princeton right now in New Jersey, 28-7. Matisse Weaver, high end over end kick with the win, will sail out of the back of the end zone. And so the Crimson will come out for their first drive here in quarter number 2. To the 25-yard line. Big Green able to put together their first scoring drive of the day, 56 yards with 11 plays, capped off by the 37-yard field goal by Owen Zalk. Big play on the drive. 30-yard pitch and catch from Jackson Proctor to Painter Richards-Baker.
So far for Harvard, 2 of their 3 drives started in Dartmouth territory. The one that started on their own half of the field, the Big Green were able to force a punt.
Craig was alone in the backfield. Now they'll bring DePrima in. Option pitch to DePrima. He's got some space and he's got some wheels. Cuts it back across the 30. Takes a big shoulder from Sean Williams, but not before he picks up a first down. Andrew Orrick talked this week about DePrima really buying into his role. Was the starting quarterback a season ago, including the game against Dartmouth. Struggled in that game throwing the football. Was just 4 of 9, throwing 2 interceptions against the Big Green before he got pulled for Craig, and then Craig became the starter the week after that. But such a weapon with the football. One of the fastest players, if not the fastest in the Ivy. Get the ball to him in space, he can do some damage. They swing it out to Woods. Good blocking downfield, and he's got some room to work with. Across midfield. Ball comes out. Ball's loose. Was he down? They say fumble on the field, and the Big Green have got it. Big Green have got it. They might take a look, but the signal on the field is a fumble. For the moment, Dartmouth forcing the fumble and forcing the first turnover of the game.
Micah Green came up with that football for Dartmouth at the end of it. Let's watch it again out in space. The official standing right in front of the camera there, but the ball definitely popped out towards the end of the run. The question was his knee another body part down? And the officials, they'll go and take a look, check out some different angles of that play.
Robert Sokolowski Jr. is our replay official. Jeremy D'Angiulo coming over to take a look and talk to the replay booth, which is down off towards our left. Remember, the call on the field was a fumble, so they have to find evidence to overturn. And as you alluded to on that first replay we got to look at, the official was right in front. So they'll talk to each other. But again, the call on the field was a fumble.
Yeah, if it stands, it would be the first turnover of the game.
Question of, you see the ball coming out. It's Patrick Campbell that's able to rip it free. Is the knee down or the arm down? That ball looks like it's moving before that right knee comes down.
I was starting to move. It's just a matter of, does he still have possession of the football?
That's tight. You're looking for that leg or that forearm to come down onto the turf. It looks like the ball's starting to come loose. Great work by Andy Hamill, our eye in the sky. Coming up with a look on that one. It has to be enough to overturn the call on the field. So Patrick Campbell got a paw to it. This is a Big Green defense that is hoping this can begin a trend. Going into the game last week against Columbia, they had forced 2 turnovers the entire season. Zach Ferris with an interception against Fordham in the opener, and then a fumble they forced against the Bulldogs of Yale that then got fumbled on the ensuing fumble return by Danny Cronin. So a turnover that turned into a turnover, if you will. Last week, they came away with 3 interceptions against Columbia. They're still taking a look. This is a long conversation between the replay booth and the official down on the sideline. You want to make sure you get this one right. Jerry D'Angiulo. It is a fumble. First turnover of the game goes here against the Crimson. Great hands that time by Patrick Campbell to work it free, and Dartmouth maybe a chance to try and see some momentum.
Yeah, and they said ruling on the field stands, not confirmed, which leads us to believe that that means that they didn't see enough evidence to overturn it. It was really close watching it back a few times on the replays. But the call stands, and it's the Big Green with the football. Chance if they can find pay dirt on this drive to tie up the game.
Chance for Dartmouth to work with a short field, as you've mentioned. Both scoring drives for the Crimson set up by great special teams play, starting in Dartmouth territory. The Big Green will start in their own end. Football placed back at the 45. They got to fix the sticks on the far sideline right now.
Yeah, best starting field position of the game for the Big Green by far. 2 drives starting at their own 25 off of kickoffs, and once inside of their own 15.
Pistol set this time for Proctor. Motion. Number 90 you see is Vashon Washington. Washington, a backup offensive tackle, will come in these jumbo sets. Q Jones trying to find a hole. Worms his way. Forward for a couple. Jones was very complimentary of his offensive line a week ago, just saying, they made holes and I hit them. I think he was underselling what he did in that game against the Lions. It wasn't just Q Jones hitting the hole. It was hitting the hole and then making a play after it. You don't run for 180 yards just by running through the hole every time. Jones slowly climbing his way up the all-time leaderboard as well in terms of rushing yards. Has a chance to get into the top 10 in program history. Picked up 3 yards on the first down carry. O'Bara, the man coming in motion. Play action. Proctor rolling, looking downfield. Pass is going to be incomplete. Behind Houghton, the intended receiver. Coverage downfield by Austin Jake Guillory. It's a young secondary in a lot of ways, but a very, very good secondary. Henderson, just a sophomore. Guillory, just a sophomore. Bartram, still an underclassman as a junior. An active secondary that makes a lot of plays.
Dartmouth might have gotten away with that one. I'm not sure that Houghton was ready for the ball to be there so fast. Didn't seem to be expecting it, but just falls incomplete.
Big Green will empty the backfield out here for 3rd down and 7. Jackson Namian comes in motion. Crimson rushing 3. Proctor all kinds of time. Now he's just going to try and tuck it. Throws it down the sideline for Jones, who had it in and out of his hands. Pass was there for Q Jones. Hits him off the mitts. Would have been an easy 1st down, maybe some more. Instead, it turns into a punt. So the Big Green not able to capitalize on the turnover.
Maybe just sniff the defender coming in there. That was Austin Jake Guillory in coverage. Jones had it in his fingertips. That's one I'm sure he would love to have back.
Golick on to punt. Inside his own 35, inside the 15 is Woods. Trouble with the handle for a moment. Contact, and we got a flag flying in the backfield. This one's going to be down inside the 15. Now it's a question. Is it running into the kicker or roughing the kicker? There was definitely contact in the backfield, but we're going to wait to see what the call is going to be. If it's running into the kicker, that's only a 5-yard penalty. Crimson, not one of the most disciplined teams in the land. They are the most disciplined team in the land. Least penalized team in all of the FCS. They only draw just over 2 flags per game, but contact coming in. You can see trying to go for the block that time. Golick does what all punters should do. Probably helps to sell the call a little bit, but 2 flags fly in the play, and the drive will continue.
First penalty of the game, and it's a critical one. Extends the drive for Dartmouth.
So that pushes the ball into Crimson territory. 1st down and 10 coming from the Crimson 36, 7-yard line. They'll come back out with that jumbo set again. Washington lined up off of end left. Corbo and Ward off of end right. Houghton motions in, tight to the formation. Play action, they'll go this time. Proctor standing in, looking down the middle of the field. The pass is going to be incomplete. Closest man to it was Bartram. Lost his footing on the play, just waving at it as it went by. So Dartmouth takes a shot on 1st down, goes incomplete. Proctor now 7 for 12 in the game, 54 yards. Had the big gainer on the last drive, coming to Painter Richards Baker. That went for 30 of the 54 yards Proctor has thrown for so far. Jones back into the game, lined up to Proctor's right. Put the ball in the hands of Q Jones. Has to try and jump away from trouble. Now bouncing to the outside. Jones looking for a corner to turn. Can't find one. Takes a big shoulder from Guillory. Picks up maybe a yard. The Big Green will face another 3rd down and long.
A big hit, like you said, at the end of the run. Vicious hit, but it was in bounds, so no flag there for potential late hit.
Alex DeGreek able to blow that one up in the backfield, the junior out of Rochester, Minnesota.
Big Green just 1 of 5 today on 3rd down.
DJ Cruther to the left of Proctor, lined up shotgun. So we're inside 9 minutes to go. Now Cruther will reset with 3 receivers split to the far side. Now Cruther goes in motion. They empty it out. Crimson rushing 3. Proctor again, all kinds of time. Now scrambling. Pressure from the backside. He's got to get rid of it. Instead, he's going to tuck it and run out of bounds. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. Crimson seem to be content to drop a lot of bodies into coverage this afternoon. They're going to bring on Zout for the long field goal try. He has hit from 50 yards this season. And he's kicking with the wind at his back. This will be a 54-yarder if he's able to split the uprights. Woods Ray on to hold. Owens out trying to hit from 54 yards out. Snap. Hold is down. The kick is up. The kick is on the way, and the kick is good. 54 yards off the right boot of Owens Alk. A new career long gets Dartmouth on the board. Big Green force a turnover, get second life off of a penalty. They're able to put 3 more on the board, with the Crimson still in front 10-6 here in quarter number 2.
Ended the drive for the Big Green, a roughing the kicker penalty.
End over end kick from Matisse Weaver. Bascon will let this one bound out of the back of the end zone. Crimson will come back out to the 25-yard line to start this drive. They've been moving the football well this afternoon. 129 yards of total offense here today. Jaden Craig, 75 yards through the air, 9 for 13. Bascon and DePrima each with 18 yards rushing on the ground. DePrima's got the only touchdown in the game, coming on drive number 1 for the Crimson. Craig in the backfield will hand it off across the 25 up to about the 27. Maddox Reed with his first carry of the afternoon. They'll give him up to the 29, excuse me. So first carry here for Reed, able to churn out 4 yards. Mentioned coming in today, still no Shane McLaughlin for this team. Such a key cog of their offense a season ago. First team All-Ivy. 830 yards rushing. Craig stands in. Pressure coming from the backside. Braden Mullen gets to him, and Braden Mullen comes up with his first sack of the afternoon. 2 sacks a week ago against Columbia. Mullen up to 5 takedowns of the quarterback this season now.
That first TFL of the game for Dartmouth comes on that sack. Check that second one of the game. A big time for that.
So we'll set up a 3rd down and 14 for the Crimson, coming from their own 21. Gil Martin, the man coming in motion. Craig stands in shotgun. Bascon to his right. Craig fires. Pass is going to be complete, but Tyson Grimm tight on the coverage, able to bring Woods down at the 32. The Crimson are going to have to send the punt unit back onto the field. So the Big Green defense able to come up with a stand, forcing a 3 and out.
First one forced today.
Tasco already doubling his workload from a week ago. This is second punt of the afternoon. Snap a little bit high, able to get it away. Williams back to receive. Takes a bounce and a roll for the Crimson. That football will die at the 30-yard line. That's where the Dartmouth offense will come out when we come back from this timeout. Big Green, a chance to try and shave into this lead a little bit more, making plays on both sides of the ball. Braden Mullen able to come in for the backside. First sack of the afternoon. The leader cut it down to 1 on this series. Desmond Jackson to the right of Jackson Proctor in the backfield. Motion coming across the formation. Goes into Jackson's hands. Runs it across the 30 up to about the 32 before he's brought down by a gang of white and crimson. Not easy running through the middle of this defense. Nick Jagodich, Tyler Humanin. 6'4", 245, 6'3", 285 across the middle. Then you've got Eric Little and Gonster playing downhill. It's a physical defense. Coach McCorkle said they do a great job controlling the line of scrimmage. Syke in particular, very disruptive. 3-yard gain that time for Jackson. Play action. Proctor standing in. Has a man open. That's Ward. Makes the first down grab across the 40. Goes over a tackler. That's Shipman and out of bounds at around the 46. 3rd catch of the season for the junior out of Cleveland, Ohio. Picks up 14 on the play.
It's been a great second quarter so far for the Big Green. They've run 10 more plays than Harvard. Going back to the first quarter, Harvard dominated time of possession. They ran 8 more plays from scrimmage than Dartmouth did.
Screen pass thrown here. Man open, makes the man miss, still across the 40. Luke Rives able to pick up the first down and more. First catch of the season for Reeves. Inside the Crimson 39. Big Green knowing some players, especially in the receiving core, going to have to step up this afternoon, and Reeves making his first catch of the day. Hugh Jones in the backfield to the right here of Proctor. First down and 10 from the Harvard 39-yard line. Jackson Namian motioning out, stacking up with Daniel Houghton. Proctor rolling out in the flat, has a man. That's Namian. Knocked out of bounds, but not before he picks up another first down to the Crimson 28. 11 yards on the pitch and catch. Seems like the Dartmouth offense starting to find a rhythm here on this drive as the half is winding to a close.
And they used Jones as a decoy on that one. The majority of the Harvard defense went over to that left side of the field, left a lot of room out in the flat on the right.
Geraci goes in motion, handoff. Hugh Jones bursting through a hole in the middle. Brought down shy of the 20 at the 21, but still a 6-yard gain on first down. Hugh Jones starting to stack up some opportunities as well.
Hey, getting craftier with the play calling this quarter for the Big Green. First quarter, we didn't see this nearly as much. A lot more play action, some screen passes, rollouts. That's what you like to see over on the Dartmouth side.
Officially 7 yards on the run that time for Hugh Jones. They've got second down and 3 up on the board. Chris Corbo motioning back tight to the line. Handoff. Jones dives into the pile, dives through the pile, and dives, looked like for a first down. We're getting the signal to move the sticks from the near side of the field, so Hugh Jones able to pick up what they need. The drive will continue. Dartmouth in the red zone. You look at their overall numbers, 18 for 21 inside the red zone this season. That's third in the Ivy in terms of percentage at 85.7%. But you look at their touchdown percentage, just 11 touchdowns out of those 18 scores. They've had trouble at times finishing off drives, and this is one they'd certainly like to finish off here as the half is winding down to a close. And they start the second half with the football. Play action. Proctor standing in. Now he's just going to run with it. Proctor in the open field inside the 10. Proctor takes a huge hit up high, but brings it down to the 5. Electing not to slide on the play. Proctor takes a lick, but he keeps on ticking. And that'll bring us down to the 2-minute timeout here in half number 1. Dartmouth trailing here at homecoming, but they're knocking on the door. We'll see what the Big Green have cooked up when we come back after this timeout. First potential lead this afternoon. Jones, no, it's going to be a keeper. Proctor around the right side, diving for the corner, but it'll be taken down at the 2. Good pursuit that time by Marcus Alexander and Mitchell Gonser. And we're going to have the Crimson take a timeout here to try and preserve some time. Big Green won the coin toss. They elected to defer to half number 2, but how about Jackson Proctor using his legs on this drive to keep things moving?
Yeah, Dartmouth has done a nice job both on the ground and through the air in this quarter. Got off to a bit of a slow start in the game with Harvard scoring the first 10. A couple of nice kick returns for the Crimson, setting them up in good field position in the first. But the Big Green have gotten going offensively, and they have 9 of the last 10 first downs in the game.
Be second down and goal to go from, what do we want to call that? The 1 2/3 yard line. The football nestled right in between the 2 and the 1. So the Big Green knocking at the door here on a beautiful fall afternoon.
That good timeout call there. Got the 3. You might as well use it. You keep getting stops. Try to preserve as much clock as possible for the offense to answer back for the Crimson.
Steve was saying the first 10 points of the game went to the Crimson, but the last 6 have gone to the Big Green. They're looking for 6 this time on this drive. Officially from the 2, they'll say. Second down and goal to go. Hugh Jones to the right of Proctor in the backfield. Lemon the motion man. Snap comes. Handoff. Jones burrowing through the pile. Wrapped up around the legs. Reaches for the line, but won't have it. He's going to be brought down shy, and Harvard's going to take another timeout. Stop it with $1:50 to go on the clock. Just a thicket of bodies that time for Jones to try and work through. Made that last-second lunge, but is going to be shy Hard to get the football much closer than it is right now, just inside that 1-yard line. This is where the physicality comes in. This is where both coaches talked about controlling the line of scrimmage was going to be especially important today. You could say that at any game, I suppose, that you would go into, but
ask me for love advice. You need some, Matt?
I think I'm okay. We're doing all right, unless there's some things I need to try and find out about. But an active crowd on hand here today.
Yeah, it's packed down there. Homecoming crowd. A lot of fans making the trip back to campus. Also on the other side, too, a nice Harvard contingency up here, just a short couple of hours away from Cambridge.
This game last year in Cambridge drew over 20,000 people to Harvard Stadium. Not that big here today, but you have to imagine close to 8,000 or 9,000 in the stands here. They're going to bring in Grayson Saunier on 3rd down and goal to go, coming from the 1. Saunier calling for motion from Lemon. Snap will come. Saunier is going to flip it into the end zone. Touchdown, Dartmouth. Sean Ward with the reception. 6 on the board for the Big Green. They take their first lead of the afternoon. Saunier stepped like he was going to come up. The defense coming towards him. And that gets the Big Green faithful riled up here. How about the play call? Saunier coming in, looking heavy like a run. Instead, he tosses it to Ward. First receiving touchdown for Sean Ward in his collegiate career. 5th passing touchdown for Saunier here in 2024. Zalk on for the PAT. Woods-Ray with the hold. Kick is up, kick is through, and the kick is good. 13-10, Dartmouth moves in front, but now it's a chance here to see the 2-minute offense.
And back to that touchdown, really sold the run so well. Watch the handoff, and then stepping up, looking like he was going to run it in. Finds the open man right there. What a design.
Have to have a lot of confidence in your sophomore signal caller there to be able to pull off a play like that. It almost looks like he has the option, right? If the hole is going to be there, he's going to try and burrow it in. If it's not, hopefully you have Ward slipping into the back of the end zone. That's exactly what they got. So a 1-yard touchdown pass gives Dartmouth their first touchdown of the afternoon, and that gives them, for the moment, a 13-10 lead against the Crimson. Harvard has 1:47 to work with. They've got 1 timeout sitting in their pocket, and this is a team that can put explosive plays together and put them together in a hurry. So still a long way to go in the half, despite the fact we're inside 2 minutes to go. Matisse Weaver, ball teed up at the 40-yard line. Bascon stands at his own goal line, waiting for the kick. Weaver with the wind at his back will find the end zone with it again. Crimson will come out to their 25. Offense was clicking early on for the Crimson. A couple of short fields to work with. They were able to punch it in the end zone on drive number 1. Split the uprights on drive number 3. But since then, the Dartmouth defense has started to find their legs a little bit, getting some pressure in the backfield against Jaden Craig.
Crimson offense was so efficient in the first quarter. They haven't had the football that much in the second. They've only ran 5 plays in the entire quarter compared to 23 for Dartmouth. A reverse of what we saw in the opening 15 minutes.
These are the top 2 teams in terms of time of possession in the Ivy League. Big Green have had the football for nearly 17 minutes so far here in half number 1. Bascon dives into the line. Braden Mullen wraps him around the legs and pulls him down at the 30.
And majority of that time came in this quarter. Big Green have had the ball for over 12 minutes.
Crimson going no huddle here. 90 ticks to go in half number 1. Craig standing in. Good protection. Middle of the field. Has a man. That's Barcade. Pass is going to be incomplete. Have Barcade on the in cut. Pass was just a little bit shy, and that will bring up 3rd down.
You don't want to overthrow it there with the coverage right behind him. Had some space out in front, but yeah, that ball just a little bit too low, and Barcade trying to dive back and haul it in. Nice effort, but couldn't corral it.
3rd down and 5 complete here. Caden Oderman's got the first down plus a little bit more. Up across the 45 to the 46. Crimson are going to burn their final timeout. No, they're going to move the sticks. I thought they were signaling for a timeout for a moment. Clock freezes while they reset the ball. Sticks are set on the far side. Snap comes with 1:08. Craig standing in, pressure coming, throwing towards the outside, and this one will find the sideline. Mullen got some pressure in the backfield along with Ejike Adeli. It's a disruptive front for this Big Green team. That's how Andrew Orich described them. They really changed the line of scrimmage. Adeli, Porter, Josiah Green, Braden Mullen as well. We've already seen Mullen get in for his first sack of the afternoon. Lined up off the far side of the line. Quick lick towards the outside. This one complete to Woods. Hurdles his way across the 50. Clock continuing to wind. We'll move inside 50 seconds here. Crimson hanging on to that final timeout. Harvard not a team you want to be down against going into the half. As Craig stands in. All kinds of time. Craig looking, thrown to the outside. It's going to be incomplete. Sails over the heads of Oderman. Covers that time by Jamal Cooper. Going all the way back to the 2003 season, this is a Crimson team, 131-10 when leading at the half. So you want to talk about making sure that you're not behind against this Harvard team going into the half. And it appears for the moment being that the Big Green will have that advantage. Williams back deep to receive at his own 10. As Tasco raised to boot this one away, just gets it away. That one takes a Crimson bounce. Williams, though, is going to pick it up and try and find a return across the 15. Loses his footing. Coming down around the 18-yard line. But the Big Green with a 3-point advantage at the moment. The offense, Dartmouth entering today as one of 2 unbeaten teams in all of the FCS. The only unbeaten team remaining in the Ivy. The Crimson already have 1 Ivy loss on the season. Came in their opener against Brown. A second loss here today. Certainly makes a chance at trying to repeat as the Ivy champion. A lot harder. We, of course, all know the story of last season. 3 champions atop the Ancient 8, all with 2 losses. The first time since 1982 there have been a 2-loss champ. Bulldogs of Yale saw their hopes to try and stay in the race really dashed last night, falling on the road against the Lions of Columbia, 13-10. Penn seems to be ready to give Brown their second Ivy loss of the season. 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, down in Providence, 38-28. The Quakers on top, and Cornell all over Princeton right now, 35-14. Opening kick here in half number 2. Fair catch will be called for by Ian Scott. So the Big Green will get things rolling here in the second half, looking to try and add to their 3-point advantage. First 10 points of the game went to the Crimson. Last 13 have gone here to Dartmouth. It was a Dartmouth offense that started to find some rhythm towards the end of half number 1. Somewhat similar to what we saw last week on the road against Columbia. Took some time for the offense to get going, but once it got moving, they found their feet. And I think importantly for Dartmouth, they've been able to move the ball through the air a little bit and trying to keep this Crimson defense honest. Jackson Proctor back in the lineup here today, 10 for 15 for 94 yards. Hugh Jones to his left in the backfield. First snap of half number 2. Hand off to Jones, dives into the line, is knocked down immediately. Trying to jump cut towards his left. Looked like he got the backside of one of his own linemen. This is a big physical Crimson line. Get a look at it right here. Just trips down over his own old lineman, trying to get to the outside.
And Big Green struggled early in the game trying to establish the run. Came back in the second quarter, did a much better job of that. Opened up some opportunities in the passing game as well.
2 backs in the backfield this time surrounding Jackson Proctor. Play clock winding its way down inside 10. Proctor holding it, throws short here to Corbo. Makes a quick turn down to the turf at the 30. Set up a 3rd down and 5. First catch of the afternoon for Chris Corbo. 2 catches for 17 yards last year down in Harvard. This will bring up 3rd down. Neither side has been very efficient on 3rd down here. Big Green just 2 for 7 this afternoon on 3rd down conversions.
Yeah, Harvard not much better either, as you mentioned, just 2 of 6 for the Crimson. 3rd down struggles for both of these sides.
Crimson lead the Ivy in 3rd down defense. Opponents converting just 34.1% of their 3rd downs into first. They empty out the backfield here for Jackson Proctor. Opening drive of half number 2. Crimson rushing 4. Proctor being flushed, looking downfield, looking, floats it down the sideline for Houghton. The pass is going to be incomplete. So the Big Green will go 3 and out here on the opening possession. Full credit here to the Crimson defense for coming out of the half and really limiting Dartmouth on their opening drive. Set up Woods. We've already seen one great return out of him this afternoon. Golick back, awaiting the punt. Averaging just under 39 yards per kick this season. Steps forward from his own 20. High kick with the win. This one sailing and forcing Woods back inside his own 20, and he's going to be smacked. Grayson O'Bear, great coverage downfield. Big Green maybe trying to seize some of the momentum back. Grayson O'Bear, great open field tackle here. Pushing the Crimson all the way back inside the 20.
55-yard punt. It's a nice boot. The return man trailing back on that one, and Opera with a lick on him. And that was Scott Woods getting drilled for Harvard.
So the Crimson will start their first drive of half number 2 from their own 15-yard line. Jaden Craig, 12 for 19, 106 yards through the air. Bascon, stutter step. Danny Cronin wraps him up immediately. Then a gang of Green comes around him. Gain of a couple there for Exavea Bascon. Bascon up to 25 yards carrying the football now. Just a sophomore of Nahant, Massachusetts. Has really had to step in the void. Shane McLaughlin out with injury. First team All-Ivy performer, 830 yards rushing last year for McLaughlin. That led the Ancient 8. Second down and 8 here for the Crimson. Craig looking to the outside, complete. Barkate looking for the sideline, makes a man miss, and now he's going to run for the first down and a little bit more. Then a flag flies on the play at the end. Have to wait and see who this is going against. Came all the way from the official in the middle of the field. Danny Cronin pointing like it's going to go against the Crimson. We've had one flag thrown here this afternoon. It was for a roughing the kicker penalty.
This one came in a bit late, too, towards the end of the play, middle of the field, like you mentioned.
Jerry D'Angelo, our referee. So the Crimson will pick up a first down, but Dean Boyd, the junior wideout out of Boardman, Ohio, is going to be called for personal foul penalty. So the first down still stands, but the ball's going to get pushed all the way back down to the original line of scrimmage at the 15. Take a look at it, and it's Boyd coming up from the backside. You can see on the back end, just nowhere near the play. A little bit of a chuck, but that's enough to draw the flag. So they pick up a first down, but we're right back to where we started, just from a different hash mark. First down and 10 from the 15. Dartmouth pointing at the line like someone flinched. No flag coming, though. Bascon takes his time, waits for a hole to develop. Didn't look like there was much there, and then just the patience with the run. Able to bring it across the 20 to the 21. Sets up a second down and 4 for the Crimson. Bascon over 30 yards carrying the football now, coming off a 71-yard day last week against Princeton. Quick throw to the outside, looking for Woods. Great tackle made in the open field by Jordan Washington. Washington came flying in from the second level of the secondary to sniff that one down, officially a loss of a yard. We highlighted Dartmouth's third down struggles, and you mentioned the struggles for the Crimson so far. Just 2 for 6 on third downs. Harvard, the top team in the league in third down defense. Second best team, the Big Green of Dartmouth. Opponents just 34.6% converting thirds into first. Quick throw, middle of the field. That one's going to be complete. Gil Martin makes the catch. Should have enough for the first here. Great route that time by Seamus Gil Martin. Andrew Orick really highlighting when a weapon he can be. Has tight end size but wide receiver speed. 6'4", but 215 pounds. More of a move tight end, but great hands and able to make the grab there for the first.
And nice hands. He's done a great job today up on the line of scrimmage as well. A couple of blocks, setting up some extra yards for the running backs, receivers, following screen passes. Big asset having a guy like him on your offense.
First down and 10 from the 26 for Harvard. Dartmouth showing some pressure up the middle. They back it off now. Option pitch. Bascon on the outside. Gets hit from behind. Josiah Green drives him to the turf with a purpose. All the way back at the 22, a loss of 4.
Yeah, Green was the one who laid the hit. Sean Williams was back in there. Got a hand in there first, and then Green finishing the job. Nice job by the Dartmouth defense. Get that TFL, and it's going to be second and long for the Crimson.
39 tackles for loss on the season for this Dartmouth D. That leads the Ivy League. 7 last week against Columbia. Second down and 14. Throw to the outside through Barcate's hand. Incomplete. Don't see Jaden Craig miss often, but that one sailed high. Craig now 15 for 23 on the afternoon. Talked about the heater that he was on coming into today. His last 3 games, 66 of 85 throwing the football. And that's 77.6% in terms of a completion percentage. Add in 11 touchdowns in that run with just 1 interception. Facing a third down and long, coming from his own 22. DePrima's the man in the backfield. They're motioning out. They'll swing it to him, trying to get to him into space. Boundary's going to the outside. DePrima brought down on the sideline, shy of the 30. So the Big Green will force the punt here on the first series for the Crimson here in half number 2. Aided in part by that penalty to kind of help slow the drive down, but Dartmouth disruptive on the line, getting into the backfield. Both coaches talked about it. Sammy McCorkle in particular talked about how the line of scrimmage was going to be key. Dartmouth able to disrupt the line of scrimmage that time and force the third down and long. Tasco ready to punt. Williams stands back at his own 30, waiting for the kick. Tasco gets it away cleanly. End over end kick comes down in the middle of the field. Everyone's going to run away from it. And it will die just across the 35-yard line at the 34. So the Big Green offense will come out looking to try and add on to their lead here in quarter number 3. 13-10. Dartmouth in front of Harvard here at homecoming. Make some points onto their 3-point advantage over the Crimson. Dartmouth will start with the ball from their own 35-yard line. Jackson Proctor alone in the backfield for the moment. Calls for motion. It will come from Q Jones. End around coming here. Nothing doing. Sniffed out in the backfield and ripped down to the turf that time is Reeves. Great read in the backfield made by Chris Raimundo. Big Green try to go to something a little tricky instead. They're driven all the way back. A loss of 8.
Yeah, we saw that play early in the game, something similar, where they faked the handoff one way, wound up pitching it in the opposite direction. That time, Harvard right on top of it. Able to get the stop in the backfield for a huge loss of 7 on the play.
Second down and long, they'll go to Jones. Dives into the line. Worms his way across the 30 up to the 31, but still shy of the original line of scrimmage. So Jones gets 4 yards back. That pushes him over 30 yards on the day, up to 31 officially. 587 yards on the season now for Q Jones. That's a new career high, besting his efforts from a year ago. Needs 120 yards coming into today to move into the top 10 all-time in program history. Third down and 14 for Dartmouth. Proctor going to try and sling it. Now he's going to try and run with it. And nothing doing. Proctor ripped and pulled down to the turf by Syke, but we've got flags flying on the play. Wonder if it's a hold or wonder if it might be a horse collar tackle coming in. We've seen flags hurt Harvard here this afternoon. So the Big Green went backwards on play number 1, but they'll take a flag here from Harvard to pick up another first down. Second first down they've gained here against the Crimson this afternoon via penalty.
Only 3 penalties in the game, and they've all been personal fouls. Just trying to wrap up there and getting a little bit too high, too aggressive. Grabbing the back of the jersey up near the collar.
So that pushes the football up to the 46-yard line. The Big Green with new life on this drive. We'll see if they can capitalize. Corbo comes in motion. Handoff. Jones looking for a hole and again goes down. Second time this half we've seen him trip over legs trying to bounce something to the outside. Goes down officially for a loss of 1. Give the Crimson credit. This is a Big Green team that last week ran all over Columbia, 271 yards on the ground. That was a season high. But Dartmouth has rushed for just 60 yards today on 23 attempts.
Yeah, they've locked in on the run. Crimson have done that all season. Been the stingiest rushing defense in the Ivy. I've had a feeling today they would lock in on the ground game. Dartmouth wouldn't be able to do the same.
Play action. Proctor looking. Proctor trying to find an edge. Going here against Little. Proctor's able to slip a tackle. Work his way down the sideline. Takes a big hit on the back end. Bartram came flying in to help him out of bounds. But Jackson Proctor using the legs here is going to have Dartmouth sniffing a first down. Third down and short coming up.
Yeah, nice run. Big lick at the end of that one. It was up high. It was in bounds.
They spot the ball at the Harvard 46-yard line. The Big Green need the 44 for a first. Dartmouth just 2 for 8 on third downs this afternoon. Washington into the game is an extra tight end. Corbo comes in motion. Handoff. Q Jones burrows into the line. Jones is stood up. I don't think he's going to get it. They've got him shy. Great push by the Harvard defensive line. Got fourth and about half a yard. If you're Sammy McCorkle, you're going to try and roll the dice here?
Yeah, decision time here. Fourth and less than a yard. And they're maybe half a yard away from the first.
They're keeping the offense on the field right now. Play clock down inside 20. Big Green looking to try and go for it here on fourth. Just 3 for 9 on fourth down attempts this season. Snap comes. Handoff. Jones into the line. Jones twisting, and he is right at the sticks. It's going to depend on the spot, and they're already motioning it up for a first down. Jones needed about a half a yard, and that's exactly what he got. Sammy McCorkle gambling a little bit here, but his offensive line and Q Jones is able to pick it up.
It's the right move, only needing about half of the yard. Was awfully close there, but with the spin move, Jones able to just get enough for the first.
Handoff comes here. DJ Crothers got some space. Crother up the middle. Crother in a foot race. Crother ripped down around the ankles by Bartram, but not until he brings the ball all the way down to the Crimson 13. DJ Crother with a burst through the line that time. Has Dartmouth again knocking on the end zone's door. 31 yards on the run for Crother. Had a 33-yard touchdown run last week against the Lions of Columbia. He stays in behind Proctor. They'll hand it off again to Crother. Quick little stutter step, stood up, makes one man miss, but then it's going to be wrapped and driven down to the turf. Gone to the first man that made contact. Crother did well to pick up a couple of yards. Set up a second down and long. Don't look now, but the third quarter starting to wind down. Inside 4 minutes to go. So the Big Green looking to try and put some points on the board here. Crimson trying to limit it to at least 3. Second down and 8 from the Harvard 11. Shotgun snap comes. Looking towards the outside. Proctor standing in. Proctor, middle of the field. Proctor has it to Houghton. Makes the grab. No, incomplete. Not able to hang on. Painter Richards Baker, was not able to hang on to the football.
Almost had it coming back. Looked like he would have crossed the plane. Let's see it again. Back of the end zone. Cam. Yeah, the ball just slipped out. A little bit deceiving from our vantage point up here in the press box. Looked to be a lot closer than it was. Ball just popped out. So 3rd and 8 coming up.
Great coverage by Austin Jake Guillory on the back end. 3rd and 8 from the 11. Big Green can get a first down without a touchdown. Cruther is the motion man. Proctor looking. Has some space. Proctor throwing for the end zone. Corbo! Touchdown, Dartmouth! Proctor keeping the play alive with his legs. Chris Corbo hauls it in for 6 more. 5th receiving touchdown of the season for Chris Corbo. What a weapon he has become for this Dartmouth Big Green team.
Big Green now with a 2-score advantage. Serving, taking plenty of time, and finding Corbo for the touchdown.
Zalk on for the PAT. Woods Ray on hold. Snap is there. The hold is there. The kick is there as well. 20-10. The Big Green lead over the Crimson of Harvard. Big Green capped off with the 11-yard touchdown pass from Jackson Proctor to Chris Corbo, opening up a 10-point advantage. This is going to be DePrima in the backfield. He's going to tuck it and run. DePrima across the 30. Hit down from behind, but not before he gains just over 8 yards on the first down run. So the Crimson start the series here with DePrima. What a weapon to have in the backfield. Now he'll split out wide to the near side. He does have 4 catches on the season for 81 yards coming into today. He's got 2 catches this afternoon for 18. Craig forced out of the pocket. Rolling. Back across his body. Pass is going to be caught. What a catch across the middle of the field that time. Diving effort by Woods up to the 46-yard line. Big Green have a player that's down. That's Sean Williams back up to his feet. There you get the athleticism that Craig is able to possess. That was not an easy throw coming back across his body. Now Williams back down to the turf, and the training staff is going to come out to take a look. So Craig through the air. Just the strength to be able to get this throw off. And also just on target and on time. Saw Micah Green closing there. Couldn't quite get his hands to it. But a great pitch and catch that time from Craig to Woods. Looking around the rest of the Ivy League right now. This is the closest game of the bunch that are left. Of course, last night, Columbia knocking off Yale at home. 10 points in the 4th quarter for the Lions to come away with the win. Improve their record to 5-2 overall, 3-1 within the Ivy. Penn downing Brown today. The Quakers picking up their first Ivy win, 38-28 in Providence. Malachi Hosley, 102 yards, 2 touchdowns on just 17 carries. And Bear Richardson, a big game for the Quakers as well, 113 yards receiving. Game has not gone final down in New Jersey, but things are not going well for the Tigers at Princeton. Fell to Harvard 45-13 last week. They're down 49-14 to Cornell at home. Back to the drive at hand. First down and 10 for the Crimson coming from their own 46-yard line. Greg readies for the shotgun snap. Be a handoff this time to Malik Frederick. Frederick breaking a couple of tackles. Frederick still on his feet inside the 40. Frederick finally pulled down from behind. But a big run by Malik Frederick all the way down to the Dartmouth 29. 25 yards on the run that time for Frederick. The Crimson right back to the line. Looking to move quickly. Throw to the outside. That one's going to be caught. Gil Martin dancing inside on his feet. Gil Martin into the end zone. Touchdown Crimson. Just like that, in the blink of an eye, Harvard moves the football down the field. Get to the line quickly. Don't allow that Big Green defense to get set. And then Craig's able to find Gil Martin. We see some of the speed that Coach Orrick was talking about this week as he finds the end zone and gets Dartmouth back to within 4 for the moment, pending the PAT. Don't even know if you can call that a drive necessarily by the Crimson, but my goodness, you blinked and it was there. Core for the PAT. That one's through. That one's good. And we've got ourselves a 3-point game. Malik Frederick with the big run to get the ball down into Dartmouth territory. The pitch and catch there from Craig. You see the escapability by Gil Martin as well. Just two big chunk plays. Coach McCorkle this week talked about limiting the big plays against this Harvard Crimson team. They come up with two right there, and they're able to, the offense get some points on the boards for the first time since the first quarter.
Dialing up that play call for Frederick, just his second carry of the game, but breaking a couple of tackles, picking up a chunk of yards, and then quick up to the line of scrimmage. Touchdown in a blink of an eye on those two plays. That's one way to respond, right?
Certainly is. The Big Green seemed like they were starting to take control of things a little bit. Long clock churning drive puts them up by 10. But Harvard coming right back to it. Fourth receiving touchdown of the season for Gil Martin. 18th passing touchdown for Jaden Craig. Tacking on to his Ivy League lead coming into today. Core ready to send this one deep. Ian Scott back to receive. Scott already waving for the fair catch as this one goes into the end zone. Big Green will come out to their own 25. So what response does Dartmouth have now to try and come back? 29 yards officially on the touchdown pass from Craig to Gil Martin. Last drive for the Big Green, they held the ball for 5 minutes and 43 seconds. That drive for the Crimson, they had it for $118, moving 75 yards in just 4 plays. That's how quickly it can happen. That's how explosive this offense is. They've got 17 points on the board. That's about half of what they average coming into today. They average just shy of 35 points per game. That's first in the Ivy entering play. Crother lined up deep behind Proctor. He's calling for motion. It comes from Ward. Handoff, DJ Crother. Jumps through a hole in the line. Not much there. Now he's going to be driven back after a gain of a couple. Crother's big run on the last series for the Big Green, helping to set them up deep inside Harvard territory. Second and 7 now for Dartmouth after the 3-yard gain by Crother, who stays in the game. 2 field goals for Dartmouth, 2 touchdowns, both passing variety. Proctor going to hang on to it. Has a man middle of the field. That's Houghton. Now it's going to be a foot race. Daniel Houghton down into Harvard territory. Houghton racing for the sideline. Houghton into the end zone. Touchdown, Dartmouth. 72 yards. Proctor to Houghton. 6 more on the board for the Big Green. How do you respond? Like that. Hit him in stride, then a foot race between he and Damian Henderson. Momentum seemed to be swinging over to the Crimson sideline, and Dartmouth snatching it right back.
Houghton going one-on-one with Henderson, turning on the afterburners at the end of that one. Some breakaway speed. Finds the end zone, puts up 6.
On the PAT. No problem for Zalk as he's able to split the uprights. Did we just see what we thought we saw? 4 plays, 75 yards moving down the other way. Then 3 plays and 75 yards going the other way. Well, play action inside and a perfect pass to Houghton. And then he was gone. Daniel Houghton's second receiving touchdown of the season. First since the epic comeback against Yale, the junior out of Matthews, North Carolina. A huge catch and run that time. I didn't give Dartmouth enough credit. It wasn't 3 plays on the drive. It was 2 plays that time. My apologies, but 75 yards for the Big Green. So right after the Crimson are able to put it in, all of 48 seconds rolling off the game clock. We were hoping for a good game this afternoon. We were expecting a good game this afternoon, and that is exactly what we have gotten here today. Weaver, high end over end kick. Bascom will let it go over his head and bound down to the back of the end zone. Now it's the Crimson's turn to come back out and see what they can do. They took 4 plays to go 75 yards on their last drive, taking all of a minute 18. As we said, Dartmouth going 2 plays for 75 yards, taking all of 48 seconds. You want to bump up your numbers on the afternoon. Suddenly, Jaden Craig's thrown for 174. Jackson Proctor's thrown for $182. Dartmouth 289 yards of total offense. Harvard 266 yards of total offense. Big Green have run 9 more plays than the Crimson. Craig back out with 57 ticks to go here in the third quarter. Standing and rolling now. Craig looking downfield, looking for options. Will fire down the sideline. It's going to be incomplete. Receiver came back on the play, but not able to hold on. That was Barkade. Not often that you'll see him put a ball on the turf when it comes to his hands.
Barkade was really active back in the first quarter. They targeted him a few times. He had 3 catches in the first, only 1 grab since.
He's got 4 catches for 51 yards on the afternoon. Does not have a game this season, which he's got fewer than 6 catches. Swing pass, Woods on the outside, pulled down. Great tackle by Washington, able to work off the block from Barkade. Limit it to a gain of about 1. That will force the Crimson into a 3rd down and long. Inside 30 seconds to go here. There is a difference between the game clock and the play clock. Harvard has to snap this off to avoid a delay penalty here at the end of the 3rd. Big Green rushing 4, pressure coming up the middle, flushing out Craig, rolling towards his right, going deep down the field. This one's going to hang up, and it's going to be knocked away. Looking for Barkade, bit of a jump ball. Coverage there by Jamal Cooper, knocking it to the turf. The Crimson will have to send the punt unit onto the field.
Yeah, it looked like there might have been some miscommunication there as Barkade started to curl in at the end of that one, but the throw was back in the direction that he was running to in the first place. He had to quickly recover, backpedal about 4 or 5 yards, then get up and essentially play defense, just trying to knock that ball away.
Tasco ready to send this one deep. Will not be Williams coming back to return the kick. Big Green nearly got to that one. It's going to be Namian calling for the fair catch inside his own 35. He was looking for a flag after some contact, but no yellow on the field at the moment. 4 seconds to go here in the quarter. Big Green will come out to run 1 play. They scored 20 unanswered points, going from down 10-0 early in this game to up 20-10. Crimson with a quick strike drive, getting themselves back to within 3, but then big response by the Big Green on their last drive. Pushing that lead back into double digits. Jackson Proctor back in the lineup here today. Has not seen the field since the Yale game. He's 13-20 on the afternoon for 182 yards and 2 scores. Hands off, comes to Cruther. Bounding around the corner. Cruther pushed out of bounds. Will be close to the first down as the third quarter will expire here in Hanover. Down at 10 from their own 43 as we get the fourth quarter started here at Buddy Tebin Stadium at Memorial Field. Looking to try and add to this 10-point advantage against the Crimson. DJ Cruther able to spin out a tackle in the backfield, but now running backwards now, just running for his life, trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. Finally smacked and knocked out of bounds. Good pursuit that time by Eric Little. Marcus Alexander got in the backfield first to disrupt the play. All the way back to the 37-yard line. It's going to be a loss of 7 yards.
It's always dangerous territory when you break one tackle, you spin, then you're 3 or 4 yards behind where you started. You've got a gang of tacklers coming in your direction. You want to extend the play, try to get to the sideline, find a running lane, but just nothing doing there, and winds up being a big loss.
2nd down and 16 they officially have on the big board here. Motion from Namian. Proctor gets back some of it here to Painter Richards-Baker. Richards-Baker driven hard out of bounds. Gonser over there along with Bartram. Just back across the original line of scrimmage. Up to the 43.
It gets back to third and manageable, but Dartmouth has struggled today on third down, only 3 of 10. They've been mostly shorter third downs.
Only one opponent all season has converted more than 50% of their third downs against the Crimson. That was Holy Cross that went 12 for 16. They empty out the backfield here on third down and 10. Snap will come. Proctor standing in, looking. Middle of the field has a man open. That's Namian. Namian is going to be knocked down to the turf just shy of the first down. We saw Coach Sammy McCorkle roll the dice once already on a fourth down and short. Are the Big Green going to do it again? They will not. They're going to bring the punt unit onto the field.
Yeah, that was back when it was a one-score game, a little bit earlier in the game. At this stage, fourth quarter, bringing out the punt unit, that's the right idea. You're up by 2 scores. Clock is your friend. Trying to run this all the way down, get the punt off, and pin Harvard back deep.
Golick standing at his 38-yard line. Someone jumped across the line. I don't know how they missed that. Gonser got away with one. Clearly across the line before the snap went. That would have been more than enough for a first down. 4th and 1. It would have been a 5-yard penalty. I don't know if we can get a look at it. Maybe when we come back on the other side of this timeout. Crimson catching a break here. They're down by 2. Big Green drives have been kept alive by penalties. Should it have been a third? Mitchell Gonser at the bottom of your screen. Certainly looked like he came across the line before that ball was snapped on the Dartmouth punt. Either way, deep punt here as the Crimson pinned all the way back at their 6-yard line. Jaden Craig leading the offense back out here, trailing by 10 in the fourth quarter. Bascon to his left. Handoff will come to Bascon. Dives into the line. Brought down after a gain of a couple up to the 8. Bascon 33 yards carrying the football this afternoon. Dartmouth is over 100 yards rushing today. Harvard now up to 94. Big Green, though, have been limited to just 3.4 yards per carry. That was coming off of a season high last week of nearly 7 yards per tote. 2nd down and 8 for the Crimson from their own 8-yard line. It's DePrima lined up in the backfield. He's going to keep it, looking for some space around the left side. Able to jump over one tackler, runs out of bounds at around the 10. It was Cooper that got in the backfield. Forced DePrima out at the 10. We'll set up a 3rd down and long. DePrima, good wheels, but good pursuit by the Big Green. Be 3rd down and 6 for the Crimson. They've struggled on 3rd down this afternoon as well, just 3 for 9. These are the top 2 teams in the Ivy League in terms of 3rd down efficiency on defense. Craig taking the snap, looking to the sideline. This pass is going to be caught by Barkate. He's able to break a tackle. Now Cooper Barkate running free. Barkate pulled down from behind, but not before he brings the ball across the 40 up to the 43-yard line. 33 yards on the pitch and catch. Big Green have a defender down right now, Tyson Grimm.
Barkate had been quiet since the early going in the game, but makes a huge play right there. Going up to haul in that pass, which was well over his head. And then after the catch, picking up some extra yards.
Grimm back up and walking off the field under his own power, but the drive continuing here for the Crimson. After the big pitch and catch from Crimson facing a 3rd down and 6 deep in their own end, but 33 yards on the pass. Jaden Craig to Cooper Barkate gives them some breathing room and some new life to this drive. Bascon to the right of Craig in the backfield. Barkate, the man that came up with grab, moves in motion. 84 yards on the afternoon now for Barkate as Craig stands in, pressure coming up the middle, able to evade it. Craig looking downfield, trying to find Barkate. Pass is going to hang up, and it is incomplete. Zach Ferris able to knock it away. Great throw down the field that time by Craig, being flushed out of the pocket. Barkate got his hands on it, but Ferris able to wrestle it free.
Knocked away at the last second. Throw was right on the money. Give Craig a ton of credit, scrambling, rolling out to his weak side, and then chucking that one down the sideline. Makes a perfect throw, and Barkate was almost able to snag it.
Barkate on the near side as they're shifting along the line. Woods the man on the numbers on the far side left. Craig calling for the snap. Handoff. Bascon. Good push towards the line. Picks up about 4. That'll bring up another third down here for the Crimson. Mention the numbers for Barkate. 5 receptions, 84 yards on the afternoon. Does not have a game this season with fewer than 76 receiving yards. He's averaging 16.8 per catch today. Came in averaging 17.3. That led the Ivy League. He splits to the wide side as they're going to empty things out here for Jaden Craig on a 3rd down and 7. Dartmouth showing 4 men across the line. That's what they'll rush. Craig stands in, looking to the sideline. Pass is going to be caught. Ferris over there on the tackle, but there was a small window to sling that one into. And what a throw by Craig to Barkate for another first.
Just taking advantage of that tight gap, and Barkate just a little bit of space. Another good throw by Craig.
Barkate, not just one of the top receivers you're going to see in the Ivy League, one of the top receivers you're going to see in the FCS. 2 big 3rd down conversions to his number 1 receiver. Quick throw to the outside. This is DePrima looking for the double pass. DePrima eludes a couple of tacklers, but not Micah Green. They were trying to set it up down the sideline. Defense swarmed, and then Micah Green comes in to finish up the play, driving the Crimson all the way back to the 44.
And just a little bit too much pressure, not enough time for this play to fully develop for the Big Green defenders. Were in the backfield with DePrima.
Officially a loss of 6 on the play, 2nd down and 16. Woods and Barkate come to the near side. Gilmartin and Oderman and the far side with Gilmartin in the slot. Play clock down to 4. Craig calling for the snap. It comes. Option play. We'll pitch it. Bascon. Braden Mullen has it covered up. Great pursuit that time by the Big Green captain. Forced out of bounds right back at the line of scrimmage. Will set up a 3rd down and long. Mullen's such an important member of this team for a variety of reasons. Can rush the passer. Great tackler. Didn't play against the Crimson a season ago. Went down after the Colgate game due to injury. Dartmouth showing some pressure up the middle. 3rd down and 13 officially. Craig standing in, looking. Craig flushed. Craig, middle of the field, throwing it up. Jump ball. Picked off. Picked off. No, now the ball's loose. Where is it? Are they going to say it's incomplete? They're going to say it's incomplete. Looked like Williams had it, but did not survive the ground. Same rules apply to defensive backs as they do to wide receivers. That was Cameron Best Alston, that went up on the play.
Now let's see it one more time. Not the best throw, and yet just popped loose. Started to come out before he went to the ground. That's a good call.
Crimson going forward here on 4th down. Nearly halfway through quarter number 4. 4th down and 14. What does Harvard have drawn up? Not something they like. They're going to call a timeout here. With 7:59 to go in the quarter. So we've seen Dartmouth roll the dice once on a 4th down and short, but this being a 2-possession game, and the Crimson knowing what's on the line, they're going to try and go for it here on a 4th down and long. Big Green, great play made with the hands. But the clock continuing to wind. We're over halfway gone, but credit Harvard. That's a big gamble to take right near midfield. And they were able to deliver on a 4th down and 14. Can they turn it into points? 2nd down and 13 after the loss on the DePrima run. Bascon taking the handoff. Burst to a hole. Bascon still on his feet. And shoulder down to the turf. Cameron Best Alston in there to make the stop along with Jordan Washington. Bascon all the way down to the 21, picks up 9 yards. Crimson back up to the line quickly here. They're going no huddle. Time is of the essence. They still have 2 timeouts they're able to use. 3rd down and 4. Craig, middle of the field, has a man open. That's Gil Martin. Just turned around and sat. And Gil Martin down to the Dartmouth 6. 15 yards on the pitch and catch. Still a long way to go in this football game. We've seen the quick strike capability of the Crimson this afternoon. Right now, keeping this drive alive here after picking up a 4th down and 14. How big could that Oderman catch be? It's DePrima lined up in the backfield. Bascon to his left. DePrima on the keeper. Left side, DePrima into the end zone for 6 more. Crimson find pay dirt. Charles DePrima for the 2nd time this afternoon finds the end zone. And it's a 4-point game, possibly 3 pending the PAT.
He had that touchdown run back in the first quarter from a similar spot. Goes the opposite way, though, this time. Goes to the left side. Takes it in, gets some help from his blockers. So Harvard, they rolled the dice on that 4th and 14, pick it up, and it leads to a touchdown.
Kieran Core on for the point after attempt. Kick is up. Plenty of leg behind it. It is through. It is good. We have got a 3-point game. The Crimson, with an absolute need to have it. 4th down and 14. They're able to pick it up, and then Charles DePrima runs it into the end zone for the 2nd time today. Locked into a tight one here in Hanover between Harvard and Dartmouth. Get in for his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. Gets the Crimson back to within 3. You want a drama this afternoon? We've certainly got it here at Buddy Teven Stadium at Memorial Field. This kick will sail out the back of the end zone. Big Green will come out to start the drive from their own 25. Dartmouth 27 points on the board. They would love to add some more. 27 points for the Big Green are their most against Harvard since 2003 when they knocked off the Crimson. 30-16. Finish has to be the message, one would imagine, down on that Dartmouth sideline. They had a 24-7 lead against Columbia late in that game. Fans were streaming for the exit at the Lions homecoming. But a couple of late touchdowns made that game interesting. Dartmouth had to recover an onside kick inside the final minute to come away with the victory. It's going to be Proctor on a keeper going for the sidelines. Run out of bounds at around the 30. That'll pick up 5 yards on 1st down. Officially up to the 31, so 6 yards on the 1st down carry that time for Jackson Proctor. He's been active with his legs this afternoon. 36 yards rushing for the quarterback, in addition to the 197 through the air and his return to the starting lineup. Proctor lined up shotgun. Hands things off to Q Jones. Jump to the inside. Jones wrapped around the shoulders very quickly. Play finally is going to be blown dead. Brandon Svets had his arms around Jones as he was making his way across the line. That's going to set up a 3rd down. And we'll say a long 2.
An important play coming up right here for Dartmouth as we get inside of 5 minutes left in the game. Regulation, 3-point lead. Don't want to punt it right back to the Crimson. So they've moved the ball quickly down the field on a couple of drives this half. You get the 1st down. If you're Dartmouth, you can chew a little bit more clock. Run it down, start getting closer to the 2-minute warning.
Snap will come. Handoff. Jackson looking for some space. Cuts it back. Jackson tackled in the open field. Ty Bartram. Who else making the play for the Crimson? And if you're Harvard, that's exactly the way you wanted to draw it up. A 3 and out. Lots of time on the clock to do some work with. Big Green were trying to get organized there late. See the late motion coming from Jackson, but how big was that tackle by Bartram? Golick readies to punt this one away. Woods back deep to receive at his own 25. He's already had one return of almost 20 yards today. Running start this time for Golick, a low line drive that will take a roll. Woods has to jump out of the way at the last moment. Punt will be down at the 27-yard line. Now the Crimson offense coming back out on the field. A little bit of momentum after that last drive. Faced with that 4th down and 14. Able to pick it up able to keep the drive going, eventually culminating the DePrima touchdown run. Crimson are looking to make it 3 consecutive wins over the Big Green of Dartmouth. Dartmouth had won 3 straight before the 2 consecutive wins now for the Crimson. A lot on the line here this afternoon in Hanover. Harvard trying to stay in the thick of the Ivy Championship race. Dartmouth trying to stand alone as they did at the beginning of the day at the top of the standings. Craig to the outside. Pass is going to be incomplete. Had a man open. That was Oderman, but the pass skips on the turf. 2nd down and 10. Clock freezes at 3:54.
That was not one of Craig's better throws today. We've seen him put the ball on the money a lot, including sometimes rolling out and scrambling, but just rushed the throw a little bit there, and it was low to a wide open receiver.
23 of 36 through the air for Craig, 254 yards. With the 1 touchdown pass to Seamus Gilmartin. 2nd down and 10. Quick throw to the outside. Oderman up to the 35. Brought down close to the marker, and that's going to be enough for a first. No Sean Williams on the back end for the Big Green. He went down earlier in the game. We've not seen him return as of yet. That's a key cog as that back line of defense. Sticks moving here. Harvard still working with plenty of time and 2 timeouts in their pocket. Dartmouth has all 3 of their timeouts to use here in the second half. Craig stands in. Big Green rushing forward. Middle of the field. Pass is going to be caught. Barcate, quick turn, and Barcate's across midfield. Brought down by Danny Cronin at the Big Green 39-yard line. 24 yards on the pitch and catch that time to Cooper Barcate. 7 catches on the afternoon, a $124. And the Crimson right back up to the line. Crimson only need 3 points to tie. What has been a back-and-forth game. Bascon taking the handoff. He stood up at the 35, but that'll be a gain of 4. First 10 points of the game went to the Crimson. We saw 20 go to the Big Green. 2 sides trading some explosive touchdowns when the game was back within 3. And Dartmouth pushing it right back up to a 10-point lead at 27-17, but Harvard looking to stack up back-to-back scoring drives. At least try and take the tie, if not go for the win. They'd love nothing more than to spoil homecoming here for the Big Green this afternoon and keep themselves right in the thick of the Ivy Championship race. Josiah Green first on the tackle to Bascon. Down to the 32-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and 3 when we come back on the other side of this timeout. The 2-minute timeout here in the 4th quarter. Cooper Barcate making moves for the Crimson and help them move the football down the field as they look to try and come away with 3rd down and 3 for the Crimson. Coming from the Big Green 32-yard line. Harvard 6 for 13 on 3rd downs this afternoon. It's DePrima in the backfield. Snap comes. Bascon takes the handoff. Bascon's going to be short. Big hit made by Josiah Green. Jaden Craig will come back onto the field. 4th down and 3 coming up. Clock continuing to wind. This could be the football game right here. Can Harvard find another 4th down conversion? 4th and 14. They converted on their last drive to get to within 3. 4th down and 3. Coming from the 32. Barcate, the man in motion. Craig standing in. Craig, middle of the field, has the 1st down, complete to Oderman again. 2 4th down grabs in the 4th quarter for Caden Oderman, keeping the drive alive here for the Crimson. Clock will stop while they reset the ball.
A big-time 4th down conversion right there. Something of note, the Crimson have only made and attempted 2 field goals this year. Longest was a 34-yarder.
Got one make this afternoon coming off the boot of Kieran Core. 1st down and 10 from the 24. Inside a minute remaining in regulation. Snap will come. Pressure. Now Craig standing in, looking to the sideline. Has Bascon. Bascon working his way down the sideline. Tackle but brought down in bounds, but he'll be down inside the 10 to the 9. 1st down and goal to go for the Crimson.
Yeah, so correct that stat then. 3 made field goals now 2 coming into today, plus the 1 today for Core, but are now down around the 10-yard line. You figure you're well within his range. If it comes down to that, still 41 seconds. Crimson would love to have a touchdown to regain the lead. A good spot right now to do so, and a lot of credit to Harvard rolling the dice on that 4th down. 4th and 3, they go to the air and they pick it up. It's been a back and forth game today. Both teams have had 10-point leads.
Harvard was up 10-0 in the first quarter. Dartmouth scored 20 unanswered points to lead 20-10. Jameis Gilmartin hauling in a 29-yard touchdown pass, made it 20-17. Then Daniel Houghton with a 72-yard touchdown catch and run. Put Dartmouth back up by 10. DePrima on the last drive, rumbling in for his second touchdown of the day. Got his team to within 3. This is Craig standing in, now rolling. Craig looking down the field. Pass is going to be complete, knocked out of bounds. There's going to be Scott Giuliano. That'll stop the clock with 35 seconds to go. Officially a loss of 1 yard on the play. See the escapability again by Craig. It'll be DePrima coming back in. He's got both rushing touchdowns coming from this distance. Going to try and use the jet sweep into the outside. DePrima looking for the end zone. Reaches. In. Touchdown Dartmouth. Touchdown Harvard. DePrima runs it in from 9 yards out. Touchdown for the Crimson. And Harvard has come storming back.
3 touchdown carries today for DePrima. As he finds the edge on the outside, hits the far sideline, gets some tremendous blocks. We'll take another look at that. So he was close to the pylon trying to get in. The call from the official over there on the far side was touchdown. Take a closer look.
Just the speed that DePrima possesses. Able to get around the corner. Remember, the call on the field is touchdown. Goes up the backside of Dean Boyd there, running it into the end zone. Robert Sokolowski Jr. is our replay official. Jeremy D'Angiulo, our referee. Call on the field is touchdown. They have to see something to overturn it.
A couple of great blocks on that play. Scott Giuliano, the tight end. You mentioned Boyd at the end as well, just a seal, and
I think he's got it. You look at it right there, the extension of the football. What a play by DePrima. Such a big weapon for this Harvard Crimson team. They're continuing to take a look at it.
Still time on the clock, 27 seconds. Dartmouth with 2 timeouts. Did see the big green earlier this half. A quick scoring drive. If this stands, if Harvard makes the extra point, Dartmouth would need a touchdown.
That set's coming off. Here's the moment of truth. It's a touchdown. DePrima running it in from 9 yards out. His 3rd rushing touchdown of the afternoon. And that puts the Crimson up by 3 with a big PAT coming on the way from Kieran Core. What a wild game this afternoon here in Hanover. Crimson fighting to try and keep their Ivy title hopes alive. They can survive the final 27 seconds here. They are right in the mix. Snap is there. The kick is there. It is through, and it is good. Harvard back in the advantage, 31-27. Each of the last two scoring drives for the Crimson coming here in the fourth quarter, picking up key fourth downs. A fourth down and 14 to Caden Oderman on their 94-yard drive that took 14 plays. This one going 73 yards in 10 plays. Oderman again picking up the fourth down on 4th down and 4 to keep things alive here for the Crimson. Road ahead for Harvard looks like this. They're on the road at Columbia next week. If the final 27 seconds hold here, winner of that game helps to kind of put themselves in the driver's seat as well for fighting for the Ivy title. Then back home against Penn, and then, of course, finishing against the Bulldogs of Yale on the road down in New Haven this year. Kickoff to come here from Kieran Core. Ian Scott back deep to receive. Sidewinding kick. That is going to go out of bounds. Shy of the end zone. So the Big Green will at least have this ball marched out at decent starting field position. They have 2 timeouts remaining, but they have to find the end zone. .27 seconds to go. 70 yards to go. 2 timeouts to use for the Big Green. Both sides seeing 10-point leads erased this afternoon. Crimson offense certainly delivering here today. Proctor with Jones to his left in the backfield. Corbo moving in motion. Crimson rushing 3. Proctor rolling, looking for anything downfield. Will fire, looking for Corbo's, make the catch across the 45. Corbo's held up to the 46. That'll be enough for a first down, but 9 seconds rolling off the clock. Big Green are going to have to burn one of their timeouts here. If you're the Big Green, you can at least try to get yourself within Hail Mary territory. Now, the Harvard fans of the broadcast not wanting to hear it, but got to think all the way back to 2019, the miracle in Cambridge. Derek Kyler, the Hail Mary heaved to the end zone, deflecting off some hands and finding Masaki Arts in what turned into a 9-6 win for the Big Green down at Harvard Stadium. They got themselves within the shadow of midfield. 1 timeout left to use as Corbo came up with the big catch.
Yeah, 1 timeout left, so middle of the field is still in play. Clock would stop on a first down if you wanted to hurry up and spike the football. That could be an option, too, to preserve one of the timeouts for a little bit later. But if you're able to get a chunk play here, like you said, Matt, you'll be in potential Hail Mary range. Take a couple of shots at the end zone late.
18 seconds to go. Houghton coming in motion. 4-man rush. Proctor, flush. Proctor looking, flips it, middle of the field, has a man. That's Houghton. Right near the first down sticks. Coach McCorkle going to call the timeout here with 10 seconds to go. Not going to call the timeout. They're going to rush to the line and spike it down. Now 8 ticks remaining. So 1 timeout left. Looked like Coach McCorkle was coming up the sideline, signaling for the timeout, but instead pulled back.
You spike the ball. Now it allows you to utilize the middle of the field again. Then you could burn that last timeout. Probably have 2 plays left in this game, I'd imagine, with 8 seconds to go. Presuming no penalties.
2nd down and 10 from the 44. Snap will come to Proctor. Looking here quickly. Middle of the field, caught by Namian. Namian will get down. Timeout's going to be called here. 3 seconds remaining. Ball down to the 32-yard line of the Crimson. End zone or bust right now for the Big Green. So Brown saw their hopes of maybe trying to share for an Ivy title, possibly dashed it home this afternoon. They fell to Penn by a score of 38-28. Columbia keeping their hopes alive last night with a 13-10 win over the Bulldogs of Yale at home. Dartmouth came in today 6-0 overall, one of 2 unbeaten teams in all of the FCS, and 3-0 within the Ancient Eight. Crimson of Harvard hoping to try and spoil homecoming here this afternoon. Battling back from down 10 points late in this game. It all comes down to this. Harvard's had some magic with the offense here today, coming up with 2 fourth-down conversions on each of their last 2 drives to help overtake the lead. And now the Crimson going to burn a timeout here. See Dartmouth, what they were lining up with. Big Green have any magic here in front of this homecoming crowd? This is what we signed up for this afternoon. It's what we thought we were going to get. And this game has certainly delivered here today.
2 of the best offenses, 2 of the best defenses in the Ivy League. Seen plays on both sides of the football today. Special teams as well. A couple of big punt returns for Harvard. Saw a long Owen Zalk field goal earlier in the game for Dartmouth, back when they were trailing. Initially, Dartmouth came back, took a 10-point lead. But Harvard picking up a 4th down on their final drive and scoring the go-ahead touchdown with just 27 seconds left. Terrific clock management, though, by the Big Green to set themselves up.
From the 32-yard line, 3 seconds to go. It's end zone or nothing right now for Dartmouth. Harvard's going to rush 3. Pressure coming. Proctor's got to roll. Proctor looking from his backside. Proctor able to slip a tackle. Firing for the end zone. Ball hanging up, and the ball's batted down to the turf. Crimson escape from Hanover with the win this afternoon, keeping their Ivy title hopes alive. What a finish here in Hanover this afternoon. Crimson able to come away with the victory here today. 2 huge fourth-quarter drives for Harvard, picking up 4th downs on each of them. Caden Oderman coming up clutch for the Crimson this afternoon. Cooper Barkate with some big plays as well. He finishes with a game-high 120.